There you have it, y'all. The Number of the Beast album. Damn, man. There is no other album more worthy than a 5 out of 5 and 2 thumbs up, let me tell you. What a fantastic album. It's the first time I've actually heard this album in its entirety. I know some individual songs, but when you listen to the whole album from beginning to end, I don't know, you get a vibe, you get a frequency. I guess it brings you in closer. So the full album listening experience is very, very important. I've grown to appreciate that and understand why some people really, really insist on me doing album reactions. There was a time when I wasn't even really, didn't care so much about album reactions until, some people really, really leaned into me to don't discount album reactions, because it's how the most of these classic rock artists intended you to listen, and who am I to say no to that, right? Yo, man, Iron Maiden. These guys, they got 2 lead guitars that exchange riffs and solos. They've got a killer drummer and bassist rhythm section. And then when you pair that up with a guy with pipes like Bruce Dickinson, oh my God, I'm telling you, man, these guys were just a wonder to behold back in their heyday. If it was 82, the mid 80s, just a force, man. And I had so many friends who were just so into them. And I had a couple of people who just didn't like them because they were demonic and they were devil worshippers and they were evil and they were this and this and this and this, and boy, I forbid your black ass to be listening to that shit. I will basically just tan your ass and make it black and blue if I catch you listening to that shit. Unbeknownst to them, my parents, my aunties, I had a ton of friends who listened to that shit. You couldn't go to school without hearing it, right? What are you gonna do? Anyway, some people have the phobia, just because of the song The Number of the Beast, and that they're a metal band and all of that nonsense. It's all nonsense, man. So, what a great album. I can't say enough about it, man. But you know what? I got a question, though. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention. This last song, Hallowed Be Thy Name. What was this crime? I gotta listen again, and I gotta maybe download the lyrics and just read the whole thing. But I didn't catch what he did. Of course, going back in time when they were taking his ass to the gallows and everything, maybe he was a revolutionary. Maybe he is being, maybe he didn't commit a crime in a sense of murders or anything like that. Maybe it was just for treason. Maybe he was saying no to the king, no to whatever the case may be. Kind of like Sir Thomas More, maybe it's something like that, because he feels that he's right. He is not sorry, so he's going into that noose knowing that he feels that he's right and that he's holding his ground and his conviction. He's sad that he's being hung, but he is not sad about the stand that he's taking. And he is going to walk into the presence of God with his stand and asking, hey, what is up? Why did you desert me? What the hell? You know that I'm right. So that's kind of like the impression that I'm getting. All of that stuff playing out in my mind. And props to these dudes for recognizing the magnitude of what they're trying to show you and giving you the time to use your imagination. What am I talking about? They're stretching the hell out of this song, man. 2 guitar solos, extended instrumentals, a long-ass outro. Yo, that is the structure of a classic rock song that I miss in this day and age, man. Iron Maiden had this shit wrapped up so well. They could stretch the hell out of a rock song and turn it into, take it from a good rock song to a classic, iconic rock song with those stretched out instrumentals. That is the way you do it, man. All right. So let's call this the end of side 2, man. Let's go into the review portion. Fingers crossed with me, man. This is my Point Break. Fingers crossed with me that this will make it onto YouTube, at least one part. And we'll go from there. We'll see. Try the whole mass of it. If not, I'll break it up into parts and see what happens. So let's do a review, man. The Number of the Beast. Okay, there we go. Come on, baby. Open up, baby. The Number of the Beast. The Number of the Beast is the third studio album by English heavy metal band Iron Maiden. It was released the 22nd of March in '82 in the UK by EMI Records and in the US by Harvest and Capitol Records. The album was their first to feature vocalist Bruce Dickinson and their last with drummer Clive Burr. Clive Burr, that's his name. Clive Burr. Yeah, okay. So Clive, I believe he passed away, and I can't recall why he passed on. I'm going to have to go back and look that up. Died young, I know that. The Number of the Beast was met with critical and commercial success and became the band's first album to top the UK Albums Chart and reach the top 40 of the US Billboard 200. The album produced the singles Run to the Hills and The Number of the Beast, the former of which became the band's first top 10 UK single. The album was also controversial, particularly in the US, due to the religious references in its artwork and the title track's lyrics. Since the release of The Number of the Beast and its subsequent tour, The Beast on the Road, The Beast has become an alternate name for Iron Maiden and was later used in the titles of some of their compilations and live releases, including Best of the Beast and Visions of the Beast. The Number of the Beast is Iron Maiden's only album to include songwriting credits for Clive Burr and was the band's first album to feature writing by guitarist Adrian Smith. In addition, the release saw Steve Harris adopt a different approach to writing, which would cater more for new vocalist Bruce Dickinson. The album's producer Martin Birch remarked, "I simply don't think former vocalist Paul Di'Anno was capable of handling lead vocals on some of the quite complicated directions I knew Steve wanted to explore. When Bruce joined, it opened up the possibilities for the new album tremendously." Unquote. According to several interviews, Dickinson was heavily involved in writing several of the album's songs, and in particular the tracks Children of the Damned, The Prisoner, and Run to the Hills. Owing to his previous band, Samson's ongoing contractual issues, Dickinson could not legally have any writing credit. The recording and mixing of the album had to be completed in only 5 weeks, and after the band had spent too long constructing the new songs. This was allegedly because the group were for the first time creating a new album from scratch, with very little material written prior to the record's pre-production stage. Yeah, and you've got the addition of a new singer, yeah. However, live recordings show that 5 of the album's songs have been premiered live already at a few shows towards the end of the Killer World Tour in November and December of '81. With Invaders being a rewrite of an earlier song, Invasion, this suggests only 2 tracks. The title track and Gangland were written after the 1981 tour ended. Okay. Music press reports told stories of unexplained phenomena occurring during the sessions at Battery Studios, such as lights turning on and off of their own accord and the recording gear mysteriously breaking down. These odd occurrences climaxed when Birch was involved in a car accident with a minibus transporting a group of nuns, after which he was presented a repair bill of £666. 666, go figure. Artwork. Like all of Iron Maiden's albums' artwork during the 80s and early 90s, it was painted by Derek Riggs. The cover was originally created for the song Purgatory, but Rod Smallwood deemed it of too high a caliber for a single release and decided to save it for the Number of the Beast album instead. The original '82 artwork includes a blue sky in the background, This was a mistake by the printers of the album cover, and was later rectified and became black when the album was remastered for compact disc in '98. The album was also the center of controversy, particularly in the US, due to the lyrics of the title track and the cover art depicting Eddie controlling Satan like a puppet, while Satan is also controlling a smaller Eddie. Smallwood explains that the concept was to ask who's the real evil one here, who's manipulating who. According to Riggs, this was inspired by a Doctor Strange comic book, which had some big villain with Doctor Strange dangling on some strings like a puppet. What was that villain called? It was also in the movie. Momambo, or I think that's who they're talking about. It was something I read as a child back in the 60s, I think. While the images of hell were taken from my knowledge of medieval European Christian art, which was full of such scenes. This is the artist speaking. The album's cover art has been parodied several times by crossover thrash band Stormtroopers of Death for the cover art of their '99 album, Bigger Than the Devil, and on a t-shirt by streetwear brand Diamond Supply Company. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at all of the comments from the critics, man. Okay, well, we can't read them all, but I'll read a few. The album was strongly opposed by social conservatives, especially in the US, where Iron Maiden were accused of being Satanists. Public burnings of the band's catalog were organized, although some religious groups smashed the records with hammers for fear of inhaling fumes from burning vinyl. The Beast on the Road tour was subject to numerous boycotts and demonstrations. Venues were sometimes surrounded by activists who handed out leaflets, and, in one case, a 25-foot cross was carried in protest. Harris has stated, quote, "It was mad. They completely got the wrong end of the stick. They obviously hadn't read the lyrics. They just wanted to believe all that rubbish about us being Satanists," unquote. Something very, very similar with Black Sabbath. People, man, so ignorant. Since its release, the album has received consistent critical acclaim, with AllMusic describing it as among the top 5 most essential heavy metal albums ever recorded, a cornerstone of the genre. Sputnik Music calls it a classic in the world of metal, while BBC Music praised the album's complex arrangement, stating, whereas even some of the vulnerable HM institutions, think Black Sabbath, would struggle to make material that was something more than a collection of minor key riffs, Iron Maiden pulls this feat off with considerable elan. E-L-A-N. E''L-A-N. Q Magazine placed the album at number 100 in its list of the 100 greatest albums ever in 2000. In 2001, it named it one of the 50 heaviest albums of all time, and in 2006 placed it at number 40 in its 40 best albums of the 80s list. Okay, so we're just going down all of these lists and all of these records and all of these rankings. It's basically ranked high. It's on all of those typical lists that you hear about. The Rolling Stone 100, the 1001 albums you must hear before you die. In 2001, the BBC made a documentary about the Number of the Beast as part of the Classic Album series, which was released on DVD in the same year. I'm just skipping through all of the lists and all of the charts and all of that stuff, man. The album is one of the best ever. And, despite controversy and despite Christian radicalists and all of these different things, you can't deny talent. You can't deny that these guys are good at what they do. They've got a great signature sound. They've got that unified collective power punch, I love that about these guys. And they know how to really structure a song, stretching the hell out of it, man. Putting usually 2 guitar solos in there. The bass groove, it's doing its thing. The drums, it's doing its thing. And of course, you've got the lead singer just blaring out. Fantastic, man. There will never be another band quite like Iron Maiden. They are gods of their own arena. You know what I'm saying? So, Y'all, that concludes our look at this great album, man. Number of the Beast. Fantastic songs. What's your favorite song? What's your favorite Iron Maiden song? What's your favorite song off of this album? Let me know. I still holding to the fact that I think my favorite Iron Maiden song is Flight of Icarus. That could change, but I don't think so. I know myself really well. When I commit to something like that, yeah. But man, this album is fantastic. And I grew up listening to some of the songs on this track. I forgot about one really important song on it. But overall, man, the whole album, every single song is fantastic. And I wouldn't skip a single one. So, just going to my notes here, man. Yeah, so coming up next, another great album. I'm going to do a Led Zeppelin 2 album reaction, full album. And then I've got some reactions loaded in the chute there. Antoine, Brian, Jeff, Willie, Akachita, got reactions coming up for you. I believe in the next couple of days, I believe Willie has, I think it's a Led Zeppelin something. We'll have to see. But yeah, lots of Led Zeppelin coming your way in the next little while. Tomorrow being Led Zeppelin 2, the full album. And then in a couple of days, I believe Willie has something with, to do with Led Zeppelin. I could be wrong, but usually Willie and Led Zeppelin goes hand in hand. It's kind of like peanut butter and jelly, man, you know? So, yeah, that was it, man. That was it. That was my review. Hope you guys enjoyed my reaction and my review. And looking forward to some of your comments. Again, let me know where you place Bruce on your list of those great power singers, what your favorite Iron Maiden song is in general, and what your favorite Iron Maiden song is off of this album. All right, so have a good one, you guys. Take care. And again, a warning, I'm telling you right now, anybody has some shit to say about this album, you better keep it to yourself. You come up into my comment section saying some shit, I am going to block your ass. Especially if you're some so-called Christian calling yourself that, coming up in here just to drop shit, insulting people's moms, stuff like that. Man, I remember when Black Sabbath was Artist of the Month. Damn. Warning, do not come into my comment section and dropping some shit. I will block you immediately. Just so you know, I gotta drop it like that on some of you. And some of you will listen, some of you will heed, and then some of you will try to shit test me. Your ass is going to get blocked. I love this album. If you got nothing good to say, don't say a damn thing. Just move on and wait for the next reaction when it is something that is more according to your liking. All right? Don't ruin it for everyone else. I'm telling you right now. All right. Have a good one, everybody. For all of us who love Iron Maiden, have a good one. Keep the Iron Maiden recommendations coming. I will take the time to react to every single thing Iron Maiden. So there you go. All right, man. Peace out.